don't understand why the Minister's wriggling so much on Erasmus. This was a manifesto commitment in 2021. Wales has done it already. They've had it for 1 year. They're about to go into the second year. But there's no sign of a plan from Scotland. Why have we not got it? He's got the powers. He could do what Wales has got. Why isn't he getting on with it?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, I mean, one of the real challenges that exists as a result of Brexit relates to the free movement of people, and that includes the ability to live and study in other countries. And if he would make the effort and speak to colleagues in Wales, he would understand that there, where they have set up their own scheme, they are suffering with the impact of the UK's relationship with the European Union in terms of the free movement of people. This issue is not simply about having a scheme, it's not simply about finding resources, it's also about a situation where, whether it is workable or not, given the circumstances of Brexit. I give Willie Rennie full marks for his consistency in asking questions about this subject. It would make his argument a little bit more powerful if he made the effort to actually learn about the difficulties in setting up different schemes operating within the Brexit system that the United Kingdom finds itself in.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The Cabinet Secretary talks about how Brexit has reduced opportunities for young people with the loss of freedom of movement and the Erasmus exchange programme. But while the UK Government has introduced a successful Turing scheme in 2021 with funding of £110 million for 22-23, the Scottish Government has so far failed to provide any detail of their promise to develop a new strategy for international education. When will the Scottish Government provide us with the details for their replacement scheme?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, firstly, I'm really interested to hear that the Turing scheme is successful, because in any objective measure, when compared with the Erasmus programme, it is absolutely not a success story, and it's a great shame that our young people are forced to operate through a scheme which is not as successful as it replaced. I would love to see Scotland join the Erasmus scheme fully as a member state. That's the only way we can do it. Maybe a good reason for Sharon Dowie to reconsider our position and embrace Scotland's future membership of the European Union.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. In a written submission for the Conference on the Future of Europe, the Scottish Government outlined that, and I quote, "Scotland will maintain alignment where possible and practical with EU legislation, standards, policies and programmes." It is also previously outlined plans to implement a Scottish educational exchange programme which would aim to replace the Erasmus programme. Since then, there has been no progress made towards this. Instead, the Scottish Government continue to deflect any questions about the Erasmus programme. The mention of the Erasmus Plus programmes only briefly in the ministerial statement pinpoints exactly how much of a priority it is for the Scottish Government. The Welsh Labour Government have now implemented the TATE scheme intended to replace Erasmus. This has since lined up over 5,000 exchange opportunities since September 2022. There is no reason as to why the Scottish Government have not already delivered a similar scheme for young people in Scotland. So when will the Minister stop hiding behind the arguments for independence and act now to truly realign Scottish priorities with EU practice to provide Scottish students with a placement in the Erasmus programme?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, I think, to be fair, but maybe Foysol Choudury didn't have time to get to the important fact and nub of the matter, which is that originally, I think we all remember, that there was a commitment given to seeing the renationalisation of everything that was carried out at a European Union level. So those things relating to devolved matters would see the repatriation of not just powers but also budget. That's not what happened. So we have not seen a repatriation of budget that would have gone towards the Erasmus scheme, and he's absolutely right. Work is in progress on how to have what can only be a second-best scheme, because the best scheme is an Erasmus Plus scheme. But if Foysol Choudury has any ideas about which bits of the education budget currently spent in Scotland he wishes to see cut to pay for a new programme, I'll listen very closely to what the Labour Party is advocating.